Are you afraid of death?
No, no.
Have you
What
ever?
I'm afraid of is that all these sacrifices and all this work is going to come to nothing, and that regardless of what happens to us, the ones we're still alive, uh, the point will still get lost, and yeah, and the things that we've been predicting and that keep happening, regarding Cambridge Analytica, Palantir, election interference, mass disinformation, the inability for the average person to know where can I find credible information. All of those things have accelerated in the last 10 years that we've been worried about, predicted, tried to counter. That those things will continue because we will have failed. Uh, but you know, luckily I'm a human being, and so I'm also able to cut that off. I mean, everyone's going to die. That's going to happen. Luckily, we're able to cut off from feeling emotions about that. And it's more arbitrary the way we feel. Uh, I mean, yeah, sometimes I do get very upset and hopeless. I feel hopeless about the cause. And in fact, I attempted to kill myself a month and a half ago for the first time in my life, and made that known afterwards. Probably because I've come across some things involving people close to us, and was not very hopeful about other people uh, taking them seriously. Luckily, my girlfriend woke up and intervened before that was completed, and but that was then. Again, we've solved some of these problems since then, so I've been pretty happy since. It's just my dad was only happy when he had lots of money, which was for about 7 years till he got hit by the FBI for getting all this real estate fraud and so forth. Um,
Your dad was in real
I'm
estate fraud?
Well, his case was dismissed, but he lost all his money, and his partners went to jail. He was a guy who made all his money, you know, no risk, no reward kind of way. I'm only happy when I believe, when I have reason to believe that I'm going to be victorious over these much more powerful entities, and I'm going to be able to uh, convince people who don't quite see it that way yet that actually they're on my side, not on these other sides, and that ultimately this, whatever shape it takes, will starting next year in January, uh, result in an increased, the war that's being fought. We'll actually start fighting it. The war that's involved. 40 FBI raids in January 2011 against households in the U.S. for supposedly being involved in DDoSing PayPal. Elon Musk and fucking Peter Thiel's and Omidyar's thing. All the heavily armed raids against people in the UK, Spain, France being involved in Anonymous, the people who've disappeared, people who have died after, taking their own lives or whatever. You know, all of the stuff that's been done to our families, the prosecutions, the unofficial prosecutions that we're going to be able to, that people will see that there is a duty, necessity, and so it's my hope, my vision, and it's what keeps me going to know that someday in the near future, I can get a lot of people to stop being pussies and start acting like real citizens, uh, vis-a-vis the information that we have documented that needs to be acted upon. And that entails a lot of things. Will involve a couple of years of information warfare, making sure everyone's on the same page. And, it will also entail a lot of these powerful oligarchs and so forth losing more money, losing more influence. There are individuals who work for them going into hiding, or in some cases making deals with me to be debriefed, as some people as sometimes they do. Others who were not aware of what they were doing, voluntarily coming and being briefed, which happens. And then we'll get to a point, over the next 10 years as things get more chaotic, at which it will no longer be shocking to hear me say that, yes, these people who are absolute vast criminals, between me and the people I work with, we're at the center of a lot of things. And we're very closely watched because we know quite a bit. And we are active threats to a lot of liabilities. And again, that's why I was facing 105 years in prison. It wasn't because of my good looks. It wasn't because fucking they just felt 105 was a fun number. It's
Do you
because,
just like you have must have you must be so fucking paranoid. I mean, you're in the middle of all of these crazy just like national powers. Like you must be in the middle of so many different crosshairs. Does that not freak you the fuck out, or do you thrive off of that?
uh, so traditionally I've been much less paranoid than I should have been, which is why I keep, especially in the last year or two, I've kept getting surprised about people I've dealt with that turn out to be something else entirely. And so I've made a resolution to be more careful and to punish those people very publicly, and to the U.S. and Russia, by making that interview open, by posting the interview they did that, with Russian intelligence. It punished Russian intelligence by showing, by putting this out, showing the Russian intelligence, again, was using Russia today as a means of espionage. And it punished the U.S. because that whole interview is when I go into a lot of their CIA assets that are being used openly within the anonymous movements in DDoS, which are now absolute extensions of U.S. intelligence government. And so no, it's so. I mean, I'm a drug addict and an alcoholic. So and I once faced 105 years in prison, and the odds were pretty high that I was going to die in prison. So after that, to an extent, you're kind of deadened to, what are they going to do? I mean, what are they going to shoot me in the head? Oh no, I'll be dead.
This is kind of just like you said you used to be addicted to heroin, right?
Yeah. And I'm still on Suboxone, mate. And I take Suboxone, which is a synthetic opiate. I'm taking that for 10 years.
And you still take that currently?
Yeah, and I take whatever else flows around.
Do you think that has anything to do with your kind of like what you're doing with your life right now, as far as like I think if I get the sense that you get energy from all of this and from putting all this
degree,
out.
Absolutely. I mean, to a degree. I mean, but you remember my the things that get me in trouble. I've been doing that since I was 5 years old, 6 years old. There's some trait I have that prompts me to be really offended by when I see certain kinds of injustice or dishonesty. And I wasn't on drugs when I got suspended from school like 6 or 7 times during a particular year, fucking with teachers, and I wasn't on drugs. But the drugs certainly contribute sometimes to certain kinds of behavior, but they also, in some ways, maybe help me to refrain from doing things that I shouldn't. More let's say more direct things.